This year, Tomás is aiming to retain his seat on Louth County Council, as well as contesting in the European Parliament elections as a representative in Ireland East. No doubt he will continue to be an excellent representative of us all. I'd like to ask Tomás Sharkey to come forward.
Gurmila Mai Agad Adele, and just in case anybody didn't hear Adele introduce herself at the top, Adele Corrigan is running in Dundalk, Carlingford, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that Jim Loughran comes in with a new running mate, Adele Corrigan, in the 2009 local elections for the Dundalk Carlingford area, just to strengthen up the Sinn Féin team and to strengthen the voice on behalf of the people of this county. Now, it is a privilege to be speaking here at Easter in Dowdall's Hill in Dundalk. Growing up in Dundalk all down the years, I would have been attending these commemorations, and I would have heard Chris O'Donnell's name as one of the men who couldn't be here at an Easter commemoration. So I'm proud that Chris O'Donnell is actually reading a statement from Sinn Féin leadership here today in Dowdall's Hill, Gurmila Shin. But as Republicans today, we gather to commemorate the 1916 Rising and all of the people who fought then and ever since then for an independent Irish Republic. We're also marking the 90th anniversary of the First Dáil, and that First Dáil resulted directly from the efforts of those who fought in 1916, and the First Dáil also inspired those people who fought in the Tan War from 1919 to 1921. In 2009, Republicans are still committed to the ideals of the proclamation and to the objectives of Irish independence, national unity, social equality, all that were proclaimed by the First Dáil. And that was the first and the only freely elected parliament of all of the people of Ireland. This year also marks the 100th anniversary of the founding of Na Fianna Éireann. That was founded by Constance Markievicz and Bulmer Hobson. And it's important that the children here today are here today to mark the 100th anniversary of Na Fianna Éireann, because it was the youth who organised under the leadership of Markievicz and Hobson who took part in so many important events in Irish history. They were there throughout the historic events, the formation of the Volunteers, the gun running at Holt and Kilcool, the involvement in 1916 and the Tan War, and it was young children, not far off your own ages, who actually carried messages, who supported the efforts of 1916 and during the Civil War, and even ever since. Na Fianna used the cry, Glynnin or Grihin, Yartan or Ngeg, agus Bart or Am Riher, or purity in our hearts, strength in our limbs, and true to our word. As Republicans today in 2009, we hold that cry still very dear to our hearts. Because the struggle for united independent Ireland has passed through many phases all down the centuries. We as Republicans have seen mass mobilisation, popular resistance, military campaigns, setbacks, advances, tragedies, victories. We've seen internment and censorship. We've faced death squads, armed and directed by British state. We've seen electoral gains, and we've seen recently parliamentary engagement. This parliamentary engagement can prove to be frustrating and difficult, but it has to be done because the people of Ireland need it to be done. We in Sinn Féin are the voices of our communities. We want to lead, care, work and campaign for all of the people. Less than a year ago, the people of Ireland did vote in a referendum. We did say no to the Lisbon Treaty, but Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Labour, Greens all now want to dump democracy in Ireland. This government is a small step from the totalitarian idea that it's easier to dissolve the people and to elect a new people. But we say clearly today, we want to dissolve this government and elect a government that actually really does care about the Irish people. As Chris said, the most pressing concern for Irish citizens today is the dire economic conditions that we all face. There are 15,061 people unemployed in County Louth today. That's twice as many as were unemployed this day 12 months ago. We cannot let the people of Louth or of Ireland go through another cycle that brings us back to this bust. The elderly and the sick are left with no care, so that bankers and regulars of the tents at Galway races can go free. Children go to run-down schools so that developers can go free. It was once said about the Pinochet regime that people were in prison so that prices could be free. In Ireland today, people are suffering so that capitalists can be fat, and we reject that as Republicans. Sinn Féin has a vision. We do want to bring the Irish economy back to where it can offer prosperity to all the people. But a new Irish economy is one that will service our that will bring us public services. That the next time that we are making money, or that this economy is back on its feet again, that the public's money is used to put in place schools for our children, hospitals for our sick, to put together services that look after everybody on an equal basis. So it would be no good to replace this coalition with another coalition led by a right-wing party, because the golden rule of right-wing economics would still carry on. That golden rule is, for them, those who have the gold get to make the rules. And we reject that golden rule also. Jim Larkin lit the fire in 1913. He forged the struggle of the Great Lockout, and he forged a trade union movement that grew from strength to strength. James Larkin led the vanguard of that movement, and he led the Irish Citizens' Army, and they played their pivotal role in 1916. Organised workers, organised labour movements, defeated conscription in the general strike of 1918. The ideals of Connolly were enshrined in the democratic programme of the first Dáil, and that Dáil was forgotten by the right-wing parties of this state at the 90th anniversary in January of this year. So of course the ideals of that first Dáil are being betrayed by those right-wing parties. There was never a greater need for a new alliance in Ireland to unite and to bring the needs of the Irish people together. And for that reason, we in Sinn Féin are open to building strategic alliances with workers, with trade unions, with community groups. We want to build a new energy. We want to build a new movement where everybody is going to be looked after. Good times over the last couple of years made bad policies. We want good times from here on in to make good policies on behalf of the Irish people. And that's why at Easter time it's very important that we all re-energise and regroup, because even before Christianity came to Ireland, Easter time, this time of the year, was part of the human psyche, where people saw regrowth, they saw re-energising, they saw things coming back again. So we as Republicans in North Louth and County Louth and from further afield need to leave here today and say, yes, I have a small idea that I can bring to a commemorations committee, to a local common, to a Corley Cantor, to a Directorate of Elections, because I think that my small idea and my small action can make a big change. We're only 7 years away from the 100th anniversary of 1916. It probably is time for us all to start thinking, what would we like to see at this graveyard in 2016? What small changes can we start to make now? The people you need to bring those ideas to are here today. Come to us in Sinn Féin, come to the organisation, offer yourself, and we will hopefully on June the 6th be looking at a new, stronger team of representation for the people of County Louth. Breed Elman, Kevin Meenan, Harry Todd, Ian Dooley and Dundalk Town Council, Jim Loughran, Adele Corrigan, myself, Pearse McGeough, Imelda Munster and Louth County Council. Because remember this one, as Republicans we know that seats aren't there to be held or to be retained. Every election we win a seat as of new once again. Taka Geeling, Bia Geeling, Agus Boomage Galer Le Kela. Gurmila Mayogov.
I'd just like to remind everybody at this stage